Hi, and welcome to Stamp with Ginny. Today I'm going to share with you how I made this cute little treat box using the Love Cat stamp set found in the mini catalog. This treat box is quick and easy to whip up, and anybody would enjoy receiving a sweet little treat. So let me set this aside and I'll show you how I got started. I'm going to start by scoring my piece of sweet sorbet cardstock here at the 1-inch mark, and I'm going to be doing that on all 4 sides. Then I'm going to bring in my designer series paper, and I'm going to repeat that same score pattern on all 4 sides. Now this happens to be designer series paper, so I'm using the large ball, and I want to make sure I'm not pressing too hard. I've got my scoring done, and I'm ready to move my board to the side. I'm going to fold this box on all 4 sides. It allows me to see the score lines a little easier and cut exactly where I want to. And I'm going to repeat that with the designer series paper. Sometimes, depending on your pattern, the score lines are a little more difficult to see. I've got my scoring done, and I'm ready to start cutting. So I'm going to take the long side here, and I am going to trim to that score line where it intersects, and then I'm going to take out a wedge, and I'm going to take a little wedge out on the outside edge, also creating a tab. And I'm going to repeat that on both sides of my lid and on the box bottom, doing the same process. Once I have the lid tabs created on both the top and bottom, I'm ready to set my paper snips away and assemble my box. Now these tabs will give me a nicer finish. I'm ready to assemble my box lid, and these tabs are simply going to give me a nicer finish. Now you can use tear and tape or Stampin' Seal Plus for this, any strong adhesive, but because I'm doing a video, I'm simply going to use my multi-purpose and give it a little bit of dry time. So I'm going to press those in and adhere. I've lined up those edges nice and neat, and I'm ready to move on to the box bottom. I'm going to go to the stamping of my project now. I'm going to bring in my sentiment. I'm going to make sure there's nothing along this outside edge because I seem to rock this sentiment and don't want a halo. And then I'm going to stamp that in the bottom right-hand corner. Next, I'm going to ink up my cat. This is a solid image, so you want to make sure that you're getting lots of coverage on the kitty. And then I'm going to bring in my basic black Stampin' Write marker, and I'm going to add some detail simply by running over the lines with the black. I'm going to add a slightly darker shade, and I'm going to do that on the whiskers here also. Now, because I've used my Stampin' Write marker, I want to make sure I breathe on my image to make sure that that ink is reactivated. Your warm breath will simply reactivate that ink for you. And I'm going to turn this slightly, making sure that my cat's string is off the edge of the cardstock, and lift. So there we go. I'm ready to move on to adding some color to the heart. I'm going to bring in my Stampin' Blends for this project, and I'm going to use the darker of the 2 colors. This is my Sweet Sorbet, and because I use that Stampin' Write marker, which is water-based, I can just go right in and color this little heart, just to add that little pop of color. I've got the bottom of my box filled, and this box holds quite a few things. I've got a handful of kisses in here, and I'm ready to put the top on. And I'm going to bring in my Sweet Sorbet metallic ribbon, and I'm going to wrap that around the box. Let's see, I'm going to wrap it around the long edge, and I am going to tie a bow. Now, because this is going all the way around the box, you can easily move the ribbon where you need to be, either before or after you tie it, if you don't want to snip it off the bolt. And I'm simply going to tie a beautiful shimmering bow here with this trim. I love the fact it's got that metallic that picks up the metallic from the kisses. And it's Valentine's Day, so why not add a little bit of shimmer? I'm going to adjust that bowl the way I want it, and then I am going to trim. Once I've got the trimming done, I can slide this over to the edge where I'd like it. And I can see where I need to be simply by taking my piece of basic gray cardstock and tucking it under. That looks good, so I can move on to making my focal point and spreading out this little ribbon. Now this makes the box reusable the way I'm doing this by simply adding some dimensionals so that when they untie it, it is ready to go again and retie. This just floats over the top. So I'm going to add my sweet sorbet on top of that basic gray. And then I'm going to add my little kitty. This is such a cute set. Team it up with a sentiment set for all occasion use, or use it for Valentine's Day. Anybody who loves cats is going to enjoy this little treat. I'm next going to bring in these lovely little in color matte decorative dots. They come in all 5 colors, which make them a great item to have on hand, and they have an ombre effect also. So I'm going to set that lighter tone right in the center of my heart there, and I'm going to set a large dot here, and then I think I'm going to take a small dot and place it right above the kitty in the corner there, just to move your eye around the front of the box. So there we go. I've got that done. I'm ready to flip it over and add my dimensionals. Now I only want to add these dimensionals in the 4 corners because I want it to float over that ribbon. Remove the backings and adhere it to my box. Now this has got a tight margin, so you want to make sure that you have it where you want it before you set it down. And you've got that beautiful peak of ribbon sticking out on both sides of the box, and a sweet little treat for a loved one or friend. I think you're really going to enjoy creating this fun little treat box using the Love Cats stamp set found in our mini. And of course, if you'd like any of these products, feel free to stop by my online store. You can get there from my blog, Stamp with Ginny. Thanks for joining me.